What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Doubted. My name's Christian Montuano, and today I'm here with Travis Reed Jr. from Philadelphia, now goes to school at Chestnut Hill College. Travis, nice to have you on, man. Hope you're having a good one.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, first things first, where do you call home, and what was it like growing up there, would you say?
So I was born in Westchester, raised in Philadelphia. I lived, I was like moving around like from like time to time. Like I was moving from like north. I was living at one point. I think most of my life, like my childhood, I was in north, and then my teenage years, I ended up living in northeast Philly. So that's where I call home, around Mayfair area, northeast. So that's where I call home.
And so, yeah, so being from Philly, you like talk a bit about, yes, before high school and everything, just when did you start playing basketball? Did you play any other sports at the time? Like what was your come up like, in sports?
So with sports, it's kind of been like a family thing. My cousin Stephen Dennis, he played overseas and he went pro. Um, but I think for me, I was kind of like a late bloomer. I tried like a lot of sports. Like I played football when I was younger. I did track. I played basketball, but I didn't really start like professionally or like just like organized games in general playing basketball until I'd probably say in 10th grade, my ninth grade
Uh,
year. My ninth grade year uh, kind of got pushed back because of COVID and everything. That's the year that I wanted to try it. Playing organized basketball. I always played like out back or like at the park, my local park that I play at. But yeah, I always had a ball in my hands. I just never played like AU or like organized basketball until I'll probably say about like 10th grade.
okay. Yeah, that's interesting for sure. Late bloomer, not starting until high school. That's crazy. So what was that like for you? You said you were playing street ball, playing with your friends before you were playing organized games, and I've seen I've seen you play, like seen some of your highlights. You play with a lot of, I would say, just aggressiveness, and you play very hard. Do you think that's where that comes from? Just you playing in Philadelphia, playing street ball out there.
Yeah, I feel like Philadelphia is like it's like where all dogs come from. Like I feel like we got a lot of dogs coming out of Philly. And just that pedigree of like just trying to prove everybody wrong. Like everybody comes from like a different area or like just like a different like space where like some of us we ain't really get like the shine or like some people. So like I feel like it's just that inner mentality like you want to be a dog like as soon as you get on the court. So it's definitely like a pedigree in Philly. Whereas like everybody like it's kill or be killed for anybody.
Sure. Did you play a lot over at the Six-Man Center in Philly?
Yeah, I played a couple games there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because over the summer I was there for Philly Live. All the high school teams go there play, and I'll tell you, like, I haven't seen a more like just competitive and just not heated, but just it gets intense. Like the kids are gonna play hard. They're gonna do their thing. So that was a gym that really stood out for sure. So I can definitely see what you're saying with that. Yeah, so you started your high school career at Frankfurt High School. Talk a bit about that experience in that's when you first started playing organized basketball, really. What was that experience like for you?
It was kind of it was new to me. I had to get down like all like the calls and everything, like just little things like anything that like coaches would really look at.
Mhm.
I think starting it was kind of like very nervous because I knew like I had like the skill and everything. I just feel like I just needed to get the little things down that's like really important. But I feel like my 10th grade year, I kind of like I ended up being first team pub. And it was like a big step for me because like I knew like coming in there like I kind of like relied on like my defensive side because I knew I could do things on offense, but I had to like slowly progress to that. So, so like my defensive side was like that's what really like brought up like a lot. So I think yeah, that's what really like brought like attention during my 10th grade year.
Sure. Yeah, I think when you're first starting out, the offense is something, playing offense is something you got to get used to the skill of it and
Yeah,
all that. But defense, that just comes down to heart, passion, just playing hard. So I think that's really like where it starts, playing hard defense, and then over time you'll get better on offense. So that's definitely a good mindset. Just even for the kids coming up now that are just starting like focusing on playing defense and playing hard no what you're doing out there or how much you play. Defense is always something you can control, I feel like. So I like that answer for sure. So you transferred over to Roman Catholic. Was that your junior year? Was that your
Uh,
first year playing
so I ended up doing that. Yeah, I transferred after my junior year.
after your junior year? Okay. And so your 1 year at Roman Catholic won Philly Catholic League title, second team
Yeah,
all PCL,
yeah.
and then Philly All American. So had an amazing senior year. Would you say heading into that year, did you know it was going to be a special year? Could you sense that? Could the team feel that? Would you say?
I'll probably say like when the season, like so I came when I had transferred. School had already started for me. So at Frankfurt, so it was already a weekend. I was basically like late, like transferring in. So it was like it's just like a blessing, like the way I like everything like had planned out. But you walk into like a gym and like the pedigree of like winning, like the winning culture of Roman, like they have been to so many like PCL titles, like just playoffs, like they know how to win. And like just in general, when I had first like got with the team and stuff, like you could just feel like the whole team is just like they all just come together well. We played well as a team, even though like we had like four, or we had three, we had two other transfers, and we just gelled like so quickly because we all wanted the same thing. Like we all just wanted to win. And for the seniors that graduated, we just all wanted to end the year with a bang. So it was definitely like it was a good experience just being with those guys and just learning how to play and stuff like that.
Were there, so you mentioned there were two other transfers as well. What was it like going into onto that team and being around the guys that have already played for Roman Catholic? They already know, I guess, the culture, the winning culture. You mentioned that they already have experienced that. They already know what it's about. So was that an adjustment for you? I guess going on to that team and learning like how they do things over there.
I want to say it wasn't like an adjustment. I'll probably say like just kind of just getting used to like you know being like really on top of myself on like just making sure that I'm going on the right path and I'm not just like just doing it just for fun. Like I'm here like for something like because you got to think too. Before that, I had zero scholarship offers, so I was kind of like just a dog mentality where like I needed something to come out of this. So just being with those guys, they were easy to like talk to, and they just made it so much easier because they all knew how to play already.
What was your relationship like with the coaches over there?
It was I ain't gonna lie, it was beautiful. Just being coached under Chris McNesby and the assistant coaches, like they just made it feel like it was home. Like even though it was like my first year there and my last year as a senior, like they kind of just like brought me in as like one of their own. Like I've been there for 4 years, so it's like I really just I want to appreciate them too, because like at the same time, like it could be risky taking a kid from like where I come from, and like you don't know how attitude is, or how well I'll gel with the team and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a risk. Like he took a big risk for me, so I kind of like just want to appreciate that from them, and just thankful for everything they got from me.
So talk through that season. How did the how did that regular season go? What y'all? What y'all finish record wise?
I think we went 25-2. Yeah, we ended up only losing 2 games. So we lost during the regular season. We lost to Father Judge at home at Father Judge, and we lost the last game to our Bishop Bryant before the playoffs started. So that was our only 2 losses.
Yeah, Archbishop Ryan, Thomas Sorber was over there. That was I'm sure that was a tough game for sure.
I was.
Yeah. Would you say the talent level was different going from Frankfurt like that, the teams that you would play over there to being in the PCL? Like was the talent, I guess, gap pretty wide, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with the public league, like there's so many like teams like in it, whereas like some teams like like you could take lightly, like like we'll go into one game and be like, oh, like yeah, we're just gonna beat them by like 30 or something like that. Whereas like the PCL, you kind of don't know how or what's gonna happen a little bit. Like you kind of just gotta like be prepared because anything could really happen. Like there's so many talent. There was like so many talented players that like played or like that is not playing because there's like even more talented players playing over them. So I definitely say it's definitely like a big gap between the public league and the Catholic league.
And you mentioned you were heading into that year with, you said, like a dog mentality, just knowing that that was your last year in high school and that was your first year at Roman Catholic. It was really just this is all or nothing, that kind of mindset. What was your mindset as you were going throughout the year? Because it's a long season. Was it hard to, I guess, keep that dog mentality throughout the year, or just talk through that mindset as you were going through the season?
I'll probably say during the season, like to begin, like that's what I started. Like when I started my 10th grade year at Frankfurt, like I said, I started with like defense because offense is always gonna come. Like you could start on defense and then start having like a great game with your offense. But I'll probably say like through the year, I kind of just always kept the mentality because I really wanted to play like college basketball. Like I want to like keep going with basketball. So it's like I always kept that pedigree and I set myself at like a high standard. Whereas like I'm doing this for like my mom, my family, and stuff like that. And even just to have the opportunity to be, wearing the Roman jersey. So it's like, yeah, I that whole year it was just like be killed or just keep going because that was that's all I really wanted.
Yeah, I like what you said about, just the offense will always come, just focusing on the defense, because what I hear a lot of people say is just even getting a rebound or a steal, like even though it's on the defensive end, that could build your confidence up and then the offense will take over from there. So
Yeah.
I think that's really valuable for sure. Talk about playoff time. That I'm sure those games were even more intense than the regular season. All chips are on the table. So talk through that experience. How many games was that playoff run for y'all?
So we ended up playing. We ended up playing one playoff game. Yeah, we only played one playoff game, and then it was the championship.
Okay.
So we played Father Judge for the first game. We beat them, and then it was Newman Goretti. It was Newman Goretti versus. Wait, I'm tripping. I said 2 games, 3 games. So we played the first game we played for playoffs. We played O'Hara. We ended up beating them. I think 15 plus. We beat them, and then we went into the Palestra. So we played O'Hara at. I can't. I forget the school's name. Uh, College. It's a college school. We played them. Holy Family. We played O'Hara for the first playoff game at Holy Family, And then our second game, that sends us to the Palestra. So we went to the Palestra. It was Newman Reddy versus Brian, and then it was us versus Father Judge. We played Father Judge. We beat them at the Palestra, and then Ryan ended up being um, Newman Goretti. And then the championship game, we had 1 day to prepare. So we had 1 day after the game, and then the next day it was just chip game. So I mean that whole experience, like that playoff run, like you could just feel in the team, like we were all like just so gel connected because all year we were like on top of each other. But it was really like a fun run, like from the beginning of the game, to the end, and then coming chip game. It's like a lot of nervousness. I'll probably say, like just for me though, because like I've I haven't been in that atmosphere like where it's like it's literally like standing room. Like you look up and you just see so many people, so many colleges just watching at the Palestra, and it's just like a different feel. Like it's definitely different.
Yeah. I saw something first off, I saw something on Instagram. It was like the top college basketball arenas and the Palestra was up there and I was like, really? I've
Yeah,
never been to a game over there, but then I've seen clips from the PCL championships and those playoff games, and they do get pretty loud in there, pretty intense. So was that environment pretty dope just to play in that?
yeah. Just like I said, coming from where I come from, like that's something I always dreamed about. So it's like when I first stepped foot on the court, I remember just going getting on the court. And I'm like fixing my jersey and stuff, and then I look up and I just see all these people. I'm like wow, like it's just crazy. Like just playing in that atmosphere, it was really dope, man. Just to be in it, being able to play in it, just being able to win it. Like it was just a beautiful thing to see.
That's awesome. Uh, that championship game against Archbishop Ryan.
Fun game, man. It was
Yeah,
a fun game.
that game winner at the end though. What was that? What was that like? Just that final play. Talk through. Were you in the game at the time?
Yeah, I was in the game.
Yeah. So what? Talk through that like from the huddle to the play. Like what was that? What was that like? Talk through that.
Okay, so we ended up. So we go into first. We go into overtime. Cabe Goss, one of our seniors that hit the shot. He, drove it, hit Sharif Jackson. He had a layup. We went into OT. We got back in the huddle. We was just talking like, just keep the defense because us and our Bishop Ryan, we were the top defensive teams in the PCL. With Thomas Sorber, getting so many blocks. He was definitely like a big threat. A huge threat. But um, yeah, so we ended up going into overtime. A ball goes up. We're going back and forth. We both getting buckets, and it was a low scoring game because we both played phenomenal defenses, and our Bishop Bryant's coach is a great coach too. So he got those guys well, pretty good. Um, so we're just trading baskets, and then I remember um, this one play, the ball goes off the rebound, Cave grabs it and he throws it to me ahead, and I pump fake, and D Will he committed to FGCU. Their point guard, pump fake, and he ended up like flipping over me, and like I was like in the moment, like I was like, oh man, like is he good? But like like you just get like that like dog mentality where you're just like you're just trying to like get the game over with. So I head to the free throw line. I take my breaths in, knock down my two. Then we end up getting in the huddle. We ended up getting in the huddle. They called a timeout. They come down. We thought we had them because they came down and they were trying to run a play. We stopped their play, and they were kind of just like all over the place a little bit. And I remember I was guarding uh, D Will, and the ball goes over my head. All I remember is the ball goes over my head. I turn around. Thomas has the ball. He's driving it, and he kicks it to the corner. And their guard number 5, Ryan Everett. He ends up hitting a huge three for them, mind you. I think it's like 3 seconds left. He hits the three. Boom, it goes through the net. I'm like, dang, like he just hit that. Like he was wide open. So he hits the three. We take it out, and I'm running down the court. We do our little transition, and Cade has the ball. And all I remember is he did his little hezzy, came into it, and shot the mid range. And I'm like, just staring. I'm like, oh man, like I hope he makes this.
Yeah.
And he's like swishes it, but what I thought was, I thought Thomas was gonna block it, because if you see like one of the pictures, Thomas's hand and like the ball is like so close. Like he had like fingertip, like just a little bit more, he would have blocked it.
Really?
So he ended up, yeah, Cabe ended up getting it over Thomas, and all I remember is like ball going through the net, and everybody just started running on the court. Like it was just like the buzzer went off, and it was just like all I felt like all my stress just like kind of just like went away. Like that whole game, I wouldn't say it was stressful. It was just like, yeah, I say like it was like a new thing to me. So like I was just so glad that like we had like won it. You know, I felt like we like as a team we really deserved it, because our team we didn't have a 5 star, you know, guy, or like we didn't have like super talented, you know, what other teams have. Like we just had a whole bunch of dogs, and like I feel like we just came up together like as a team, where like we proved to everybody like we could win games too. Like we don't need a 5 star or anything like that. Like we just played together as a team, and I think that's what, you know, really helped us win a lot of games, that we learned how to play with each other
Yeah,
and be unselfish.
for sure. When I saw that the game winner, I was super happy because I'm from Pennington, New Jersey, which is like 15 minutes out of Trenton. That's where like my entire family grew up. So like Trenton Catholic, all the schools over there. I know the guys there, and um Cabe Cabe Goss, you know, I knew his trainers like growing up. So I've known who Cabe was for like a minute. And so when I saw that he was the one who hit the shot, like that was really cool to see. And undersized but always plays hard, and he's a great playmaker, knows how to get people involved, great handle, like, and just to see that, I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
So
that's
that was,
that's another thing too. Like with Cave, like I feel like um he really like proves like a lot of people wrong. Like just being like an undersized guard, like a lot of people look over that, whereas like, you know, like he's too small or like stuff like that. Like that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like I give him his props, because he deserves it. Like that shot was a big moment for him. After we were talking about it, like yo, like
yeah.
every day, like yo, like how you feel? He's just like, oh, he just blessed. He deserved it. A lot of people like looked over him just because of his height, and I feel like he proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, I didn't know that Thomas almost blocked it though. Like that's
Yeah, it was like this close, and it was just, I was just like, oh man, but he ended up getting it over him, man, and
yeah,
it ended up being history. Now it's in the books.
for sure. Yeah, so um coming off of that run, winning the PCL title, you yourself, like I mentioned previously, second team all PCL, um Philly All-American game, great, not just, I mean, winning the title, great team accomplishment. You also had some great individual accomplishments as well. So I'm curious, like, just for you, was that, I guess, the culmination of all that hard work? How did that feel for you? Those
Um,
individual honors, would you say?
for me, I feel like that kind of like that opened like a lot of doors for me. I feel like I'm like for me, I'm such a late bloomer that it was like I had like so much but little time to like prove myself. I feel as though like I feel like if I started, you know, playing, you know, AAU like when I was younger and stuff like that, I feel like I would have got like a better chance. But with the time gap that I had and I started like playing AAU and playing organized basketball at like 10th grade, I didn't really had that much time. So for me, like that kind of like all the accomplishments that I've like did winning the PCL, like, I feel like that definitely helped me a lot and opened a lot of more doors for me. And I just felt like more accomplished. Like it was a like sometimes it was like a little bit of like doubt sometimes because like you never know what happens. So
Sure.
it's like coming from where I come from, I'm just grateful for like every opportunity that has like came my way, and all the things that I've been accomplished. I'm just super grateful for everything.
So, now, heading into your first season at Chestnut Hill College in Philadelphia, I'm sure it's great, to be going to school like near your family, near where you grew up, like staying in Philly. So, what's your mindset right now heading into your first year? What are your goals for this year, would you say?
I'll probably say my goals for probably this year is kind of just learning like how like college is a little bit, like just learning like how to play because I feel this is a fresh new start for me. So I don't want to go too like quick or like I want to like take my time, like just get in the groove of it. I know I'm gonna get like a lot of chances during for my first year. So it's like I'm just even in our practices, like just I just like realize like the little things. I pick the brains of our older guys that have already been through it. So it's like just getting their advice and then putting it with mine, and then just learning the game. It'll all come through like very well, and I feel like I'm so much more like experienced that like everything will go well for me. I feel like.
What does it mean for you? Like I mentioned, you're close to family, you're still in Philly. What does that mean to you to be able to stay home and play college basketball in the city?
It feels great. It feels like I'm putting on for my city a little bit.
For sure.
Just like I said, like I keep mentioning, just being from where I come from, I feel like for whoever just feels like they don't have enough time or like they just feel like they doubt themselves a lot. I feel like just always go try it. Like go try like just a little bit. Like it could be like a little thing. If you don't like it, just figure out what you want, like the rest you want to do in life. But just being from Philly, like I feel like you could do anything you put your mind to.
For sure.
Um, if you just stay in one place, I feel as though like you won't really get anywhere. But if you put yourself out there and like you're willing to like actually get better, you'll like you'll see like different people that have already like been like through it like for like literally their whole life, or people that are in the same position as you. So it's like you'll come across those people that like are in the same position as you, and then you learn from it, and you just keep growing and growing and growing.
Yeah,
You'll just get better from.
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean that there's a whole lot of game in that message and just like your story being a late bloomer and being where you are now. Thing just even just in this past year, like just the amount of growth. Just talking through your journey has been amazing. So there's a whole lot of game in that message that I think the kids that are watching this will be able to take with them. But I guess we'll last thing, like one last message, I would say, what would you say is your advice to the kids, not just in Philly, like where that are going through, where you're from and going through the things that you've gone through, not just them, but just kids that want to make it in basketball around the country, around the world. Like what is your advice to them?
I would probably say just just always believe in yourself. Like you could always hear from like your mom or like family members or friends, like they could tell you like you know you could do it or stuff like that. Like just I feel as though you always gotta have that conversation with yourself and like just be true to yourself. Like if you really want to do this, like you got to put yourself out there, and like you can't just be stuck in one spot because if you do, not nothing's really going to come out of it. But if you push yourself out there and you push yourself to become better at what you want to do, and you really want to be good, it'll come to you naturally. I feel as though like for me, I kind of just I had like a kind of like a checklist on my wall. Whereas like everything that I wanted to accomplish, I have done. And like, it was just like goals like every month. Like I just had a goal for myself every month. Like, yo, like I want to do this, or just being better at what I do and stuff like that. So, like I said, me being a late bloomer, and the message I'll probably say is just always believe in yourself. Like, don't have no doubt. And there's gonna be days when you have doubts, like of course, but just always like push yourself and know who you're doing it for. Like if you have like a certain person or like anyone, like you want to just keep them in the back of your mind, like I'm doing this for her or I'm doing it for whoever. So it's a deep message, but
That's dope.
you'll overcome it and stuff like that.
For sure. That's dope. I like that a lot. Well, Travis, I appreciate you giving us your time, talking through your journey, giving that advice. I really appreciate it, man. That was unbelievable. Like that was really cool, and I'm glad that you're able to share that because I think that's a really powerful message. Just your journey, and people can take take that and run with it, and take bits and pieces along their journey because it's great to be the guy that's getting highly recruited always. That's awesome, but it's even more powerful, and it just goes to show like no matter what, it's how you finish. It's not where you start. You could always get to where you want to be, and you put in the work, and things can start happening for you faster than you even thought possible. So I really appreciate your message, and just you being on, man. So thank you.
And thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you.
Without Thank you for watching this episode of Doubted. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this video. It was a great interview with Travis. Unbelievable time getting to know him, talking with him. I hope you kids watching this, y'all were able to take some bits and pieces from him, from his journey, some of his advice, and take that with you along your journey, and help it make you a better basketball player or just an even better person. Really goes to show, Travis's story really goes to show that it's never too late to start. It's all about how you finish. So keep putting in the work and believing in yourself, like Travis said, and you'll get to where you want to be. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe. We release episodes every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'll see you all on the next one.